I've taken over 1,000 AI agency sales calls, and the one thing that I've learned from taking this volume of calls is this lesson that volume negates luck. That when you're an AI agency owner starting out and you want to go through this business model, become an agency owner, there's two things here. One is you need to be able and have the confidence to get clients. Well, the next thing is you have to have good fulfillment. You have to have an automation or service delivery that works. It's the only way these two things have to coexist in order for you to have an AI agency. But most importantly is if you don't have the ability to solve people's problems and get clients, the automation is useless. Building automation is useless. So in reality, the most successful AI agency owners aren't people who build the best automations. They're the people who sell the best, right? You need to understand that whenever you're building an automation for a client, sometimes you maybe have the best automation or the most effective automation on the market. There are often a lot of circumstances for that business that will make them churn. Right, their grandma died and they need to fund the funeral, right? Anything. I've seen all kinds of things. You might have the best service delivery, best automations in the world, but that's not going to prevent someone from churning. Maybe their expectations on what they will get from what you deliver is completely different than what the reality actually is, right? Maybe they don't have even the right perception. And so it isn't that you don't have the right thing built for them, is that they weren't a good fit for you at all because of the expectations weren't aligned, right? And so the person that builds and now they don't have a client, well, they're screwed, right? Whereas the person that actually understands the problems of the prospect has, makes sure that expectations are aligned and actually is able to find people who need these automations, that's a person that is better fit to scale in an agency. So if you come from like a background of tech sales or sales engineering, you're going to do a lot better than someone who is just a really great software engineer, right? Because someone who is able to articulate and communicate and solve someone's problems and be able to find a solution is better than someone who can build a solution but doesn't understand anyone's problems and can't articulate anything. And so if you want to scale an AI agency in 2025, you need to understand people's problems. And so when I started my agency, I had a terrible lack in sales, right? But I knew that this was the best way to grow the business, right? I had a friend that grew an agency to $30,000 per month. I was running at a time, living in the same house as me. And he told me, you know, I come from a background of no technical background. I was a videographer. And he told me, well, you don't need a technical background. Well, you just need to learn how to sell. And so immediately I ran ads $50 to $100 per day. I think around $50. I was getting leads for $7 per day. And my goal was to have at least 5 conversations with HVAC contractors, which was my target audience per day. And so I was having 5 to 10 conversations per day, and I was taking calls between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. And for 7 weeks, I didn't close anything. And it took me 7 weeks to close my first client, which I thought was going to take 2 weeks instead. And so over the next 7 to 9 months, I scaled my business by being the person that took so many calls, 12 hours per day, so that I could learn sales and never have to worry about a client ever again. Whereas I didn't learn how to build any automations until I signed on the client, because that was the only point where I can actually test out on what I was selling and building. But because I talked to so many business owners and I knew their problems, I pretty much knew exactly what to build. I didn't even need to really look at any tutorials, because I could just look at Go High Level and Zapier and all the things I needed. I knew exactly what to build right then and there. Didn't really need anything else. And so if you want to scale an AI agency in 2025, don't overlook sales, but instead learn and develop the skills in understanding your prospects' problems, and don't worry about building the right automation.